Hey, it's Russ from Pilates Guy, and this is a 20-minute beginner full body Pilates session. There are a couple of things you need to know before you start the actual session, the 20-minute part of this. And so I'm just going to go through some of the basics because if you're a beginner, there's a few things that you need to bear in mind. There's 7 principles that we work to in Pilates, and they are precision. We move with very precise movements, as well as keeping other things nice and still in a precise way. When we do move, we move with control. Movements are quite slow and very deliberate and controlled. There's longer time and attention for the muscles. Breathing is a principle, but as a beginner, don't stress about the breathing. As long as you're breathing nice deep breaths, it's all good. Don't worry about which way around you're breathing. You'll just get confused. Once everything else becomes more natural, start to bring in the breathing patterns. Having said that, I will talk you through a few breathing patterns when we get into a few of the exercises. Aside from that, flow is one of the principles. Essentially, we just keep flowing through the exercises, and if I'm offering you a new level, you just build that in as you're going. Keep going and then build in the new levels in a sort of flowing way. And we go from exercise to release stretch to exercise in a flowing way as well. Another very, very important principle is concentration. So one of the benefits, many of the benefits of Pilates come from focusing all the way through the session. So think about how your body feels, where your limbs are, that other things are staying still. Concentrating on your movement brings a ton of benefits. The other principles are stamina. So we do try to keep working for as long as possible, particularly when we're doing some abdominal work, where it's constant load. That is where you're going to really build up some core stamina amongst things. And the final principle that I work to anyway is centering. This kind of ties in with concentration to a certain extent, but this is really focusing on using your deep inner core muscles, which is a really, really important part of Pilates, and where a lot of the benefits come from is actually strengthening your deeper core muscles, like the transverse abdominis, which wraps around the middle, and the pelvic floor, which is equally important for men and women. I've been asked before, I didn't know men have pelvic floors. Yeah, men have got a pelvic floor, and we want it to be strong as well. At the very, very least, if it's stronger, you'll get up less in the night to go to the toilet. So we're going to use those pelvic muscles, and the pelvic floor is the base of the core, it's the bottom of the core. So those are the 7 principles that we work towards. That's done. Some of the basics I'll talk through when we're actually in the exercises. And there is one more thing to factor in, is that at the beginning of the session we're going to do a setup, which we're just going to do now very, very shortly. The setup kind of brings in some of the principles, it warms up some parts of your body, it starts to bring in postural element, it teaches you how to engage the core muscles and how to breathe those nice deep breaths, which we'll try and keep going all the way through the session. So the setup is quite important, and then that is going to be in addition to the 20 minutes, okay? So we're going to do a setup from the feet up to the neck and the head, and the breathing and the core engagement, and then we're going to get into our 20 minutes of exercise. As we're working through, listen to your body. If you need to do less reps, if you need to rest, if you need to stick to a lower level, although I'll not give you many levels today, I'll give you 2 or 3 to choose from, stick to lower levels. If you need to limit that range of motion, that's absolutely fine. Just listen to your body and adapt as necessary, and if you're struggling with something, get in touch with me. Do sip water during the release stretches, just stay hydrated. Let's get cracking with the setup. So I would like to have your feet together. You're going to take your toes out, your heels are going to follow. You're going to rock backwards and forwards through your feet slowly, lifting up the toes, stretching, spreading them, lifting up the heels, feeling the calf muscles kicking in just a little bit while trying to spread your weight evenly from big toe to little toe. And we're just going to gradually increase that range of motion, lifting up the heels, lifting up the toes. This is slow and controlled. You kind of hover the heels and pause, and then roll the feet into the floor, lifting toes and spreading them. So this is getting your feet moving around, some mobility there for the ankles and the feet, calf muscles kicking in, challenges your balance, and it starts to connect your brain with the rest of your body. We're going to make each movement smaller now, just gradually come into a stop. You want to be comfortable on your feet, you want your knees relaxed, but your legs nice and straight. Next one's a funny one. As a beginner, I found this quite strange, but we're going into a pelvic tilt. So you're going to go hands on hips or belly and back. We're going to tuck the tailbone under so your lower back flattens, and then we're going to stick the tailbone out so your lower back arches. And I just want you to keep doing that movement, tilting either way, arching and flattening, feeling a stretch in the lower back. Keep the knees relaxed. If you're very tight here, bend your knees more. Nothing else is moving around. You're not swaying or bending and straightening your legs. Your knees are relaxed. You're flattening and arching that lower back. If you struggle with this, Don't worry, it's quite normal. A lot of people struggle with mobility in the lumbar. A lot of the pressure we put on the body compounds down into that lower back. But we do want to work on this. And we may need to do this in different ways to get that improved mobility in the lower back. Great way to warm up the lower back too. And we're thinking about posture of the lower back and the pelvis. This does come up with physiotherapy and things like that often. Anterior pelvic tilt, deep arch in the lower back, for some people can cause problems. Let's find the midpoint. We're making each tilt smaller now. We're going to settle this down, come into a stop with a small arch in your lower back, pretty much level hips. And then from here we're going into shoulder rolls, big circles with the shoulders. We're not arching the back, we're keeping a straight back. We're keeping the legs and everything else really still. We're just circling those shoulders forwards, up, back, and down into back pockets. So giving the shoulder blades a little squeeze as you slide them back and down. But we're not pushing that chest forward. If your chest pushes forward, you're arching your back, your body's compensating a little bit for maybe tight shoulders. At this point, I'm going to talk to you about breathing. So just keep circling your shoulders. I'd like you to breathe throughout the session, in through your nose and out through your nose or your mouth. Okay, in through the nose, out through wherever. I want you to take nice deep breaths. So it's a big inhale as your shoulders come forwards and up, a big exhale, full exhale as you slide shoulders back and down. And we'll just keep going with those deep breaths. I want you to expand your whole rib cage. Remember, the rib cage goes all the way around to your back. Okay, the whole thing expands. Upper and lower chest, into your sides, into the back. Inhaling deeply, expand the rib cage, exhale fully. Just for a few, we're going to open up. So it could be big arm circles if you want to go that far. Inhale as you open up. Exhale, arms come back round and down. Again, we're not arching or throwing ourselves around. So we're just doing a couple more of these, warming up the shoulders, opening up the chest, and encouraging that good posture. Inhale, exhale, and then just relax shoulders into back pockets. I'd like you to think about what your head is doing. For a lot of people, slightly forward head posture is becoming more normal. Just stretch up as if you've been pulled up to the ceiling by the top of your head. Little tuck of your chin. So you are standing up tall with ears in line with the rest of your body. You'll be looking straight forwards. We are set up in our good posture now. I'm just going to talk you through core engagement and we'll get cracking with the main session. I want you to imagine a belt around the middle. We actually have got it, it's a transverse abdominis muscle. I want you to think about pulling your belly button in slightly so you feel a little squeeze in the abs. And I just want you to take a few deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, through your nose. Every time you breathe out, I want you to pull your belly button in a bit more. And when you breathe in, I want you to hold the tension. So we're holding it, we breathe in. We're going to breathe out, we're pulling the belly button in more. We're going to hold that horrible tension you might be feeling now. We're going to inhale. And as you breathe out, I want you to pull in again. And you're probably somewhere near your maximum. If you're not, go to that maximum for me. Big squeeze in with the belly button. Like you're trying to get your belly button to your spine. Keep breathing deep breaths. This will be hard work and uncomfortable. You should feel this all the way around the middle. You feel your sides, you feel your abs, but you should also feel your back. When you next exhale, just relax, let it go. I want you to find 30% of that horrible maximum. It should be manageable to keep it going, but you'll feel a little bit of work, mainly in the abs, a little bit around the middle. Keep it there. Then pelvic floor, the other part of the core we're going to focus on. Start to imagine you need the toilet a bit and you're holding it. Think front and back points. Squeeze those points gently towards each other, like you're getting a bit more desperate for the toilet. And I do mean front and back when I'm saying toilet, okay? I won't say any more, but think about bringing those points towards each other. Once you've got a good squeeze there, start to draw up the pelvic muscles, as if you're lifting them like a lift going up in a building. Drawing up, squeezing, drawing up pelvic muscles, lifting around your passages basically. I don't like to go into too much depth with the pelvic floor, but you get the idea. Start to draw up. If you're not sure if you're getting it right, just trying to keep a bit of a squeeze there with the front and back points. Keep breathing. I'd like to bring that up pretty much as you can. Try not to clench your glutes, try not to clench your bum. And once you're at maximum, I want you to bring the belly button back in again. So pull the belly button to the spine, lift the pelvic floor, give everything inside a nice big squeeze and take a couple of deep breaths. This is going to be a bit unpleasant, hard work and uncomfortable. When you next exhale, just slowly relax down and just move around a little bit. Give your shoulders a move around, give your legs a move around. That's our setup, posture, bit of warming up, core engagement. Okay? Throughout the entire 20 minutes now, I want you to try and keep that core switched on to 30-ish%. You'll keep forgetting, I'll keep reminding you. So I'm going to try and guide you through about 5 exercises. It's going to be about 20 minutes this session. I'm going to try not to go over, but I am going to try and get in 5 exercises. I'm going to work the whole body. One exercise is going to be standing, which will be very focused on the back and the obliques and to get to mobility in the spine and the back. And then we're going to be working from standing to the ground and back up again, doing some upper body strength. So, standing tall, I want you to pull in those belly buttons and pelvic muscles, shoulders back, in that nice tall posture, fingertips on the side of your legs. I want you to inhale, exhale, side bend, fingertips stretching toward the knee. Inhale, come back up tall. Exhale as you go the other way. As you're doing this, I'd like to keep your hips and legs totally still. Your shoulders back and down, and keep a nice long neck looking straight forwards, chest facing forwards. As we're doing this, we are trying to keep those natural curves of the spine, okay? Sort of keeping a tall posture basically, not arching or rounding, but keeping that midpoint. Legs stay still, feet stay on the floor, knees are relaxed. We're breathing out on the way over. We're breathing in as we come back up. And we're breathing out as we go the other way. If you do find it confusing, just breathe. We are keeping that square on posture, and we are thinking ribs to hips here. So it's more about sliding your rib towards your hip than it is about pushing your hand towards your knee. We're just going to do a couple more each way. Okay, so this is our standing side bend. Good for warming up the back, working into the obliques, and working on mobility of your back and spine, whilst reinforcing posture and core as well. Just one more. To one side, coming back up tall, and just move your legs around, give your shoulders a roll. We're going to come to the back edge of, if you're using a mat, otherwise, just having space out in front of you. We're going to start some roll downs, bending the spine, coming back up, and then we're going to build in some push-ups. So standing tall, core strong, taking a deep breath, and as you breathe out, drop your chin onto your chest. Feel your neck stretch. Now let your shoulders slide forward and pull your shoulder blades apart, trying to broaden your back. Let your arms go if you can, let your head go. Pull in your belly button, pelvic muscles strong. We're going to start to peel down, aiming just ahead of the toes. Legs as straight as we're able to, but knees relaxed. Keep the core muscles working here, belly button in, pelvic floor squeezing a little bit. And we're peeling toward the floor. Maybe we've stopped with hands on the thighs or the knees. Maybe we found the shins, maybe we find the floor. We're going to take a breath or two, keeping that core working away. We're going to push the feet into the floor. We're going to slowly start to come back up. It is slow and controlled, and the core is strong. As hands get to knees, we're tucking the tailbone under, and now you should feel your lower back kicks in as you start to build yourself back up. Your kind of back muscles here are pulling you back up tall. We're going to roll the shoulders, making ourselves nice and tall with a deep breath in. We're going to exhale, chin to chest. Shoulders round, pull the shoulder blades apart, broaden the back, let your head and arms hang. Gain abdominals on, core on, peeling down toward the floor, aiming toward your toes. Legs as straight as you can, but knees relaxed. If you need to bend your legs a bit because it's uncomfortable, then do that. Don't just bend your legs so you can touch the floor. This time we're going to hang around for a few breaths. If you're feeling good, little bit of side to side movement. It might be walking the hands along the floor. It might be going hands from sort of ankle to ankle. It might be taking the hands from knee to knee if you're not getting too low into this. Keeping the core strong, keep breathing. Very deliberate control movements. When you're ready, we are going to come back up. We're pushing the floor away through the front of the feet. We're using the core. So there's some flexibility here. There's some strength in this for the back and for the core. There's some mobility as well for the spine and back. Eventually, roll the shoulders back, coming up tall. The next one's going to be more fun, okay? We're going to start doing some push-ups. I'm getting to a low level today. So inhale, exhale, start to roll down for me. Start to peel down toward the floor, keeping that core strong. Peeling forwards, bit by bit by bit by bit by bit. Eventually, you're going to come to your maximum, wherever that is for you. You're going to take a breath, bend in the knees, come into the floor. And we're going to come out to a point where your hands are underneath your shoulders. And your shoulders are back and down, your knees are a little behind you, feet are relaxed, you're going to slide shoulders back, long neck, and belly button pulls up, pelvic floor lifted still. You probably forgot, so switch them back on. Squeezing your glutes a bit too. We're going to do 3 push-ups. We're going to inhale, pause, exhale. 2 more of those. Inhale, pause, exhale. 1 more time. Elbows go diagonally backwards here. Inhale, pause, exhale, and now we're going to come back to standing. Tucking the toes, walk your hands towards your knees. Push your heels down and knees up and bring yourself to your roll down. slowly start to roll back up, bit by bit by bit by bit, eventually coming up tall, just like we did before. We're going to take in a deep breath. We're going to exhale chin to chest. We're going to start to peel down toward the floor, piece by piece, bit by bit, strong core, weight in the front of feet, peeling toward the floor. Core strong, take a breath, bend the knees, come to the floor, knees down, hands under shoulders, spread your fingers out, shoulders in back pocket, strong core, strong glutes. Inhale, pause, exhale, push the floor away. Try not to let your hips drop below your shoulders as you do this. We don't want to be doing this, okay? 3 repetitions. And we're rolling back up again, walking hands toward the knees, bring yourself to the roll down. Slowly building yourself back up, bit by bit by bit by bit. Little tuck with the tailbone as hands get to knees, uncurling your spine. Eventually, rolling your shoulders back and down. Deep breath in. We're going to exhale, chin to chest. Again, core strong, peeling forwards. Rolling down toward the floor. I'm going to give you an option on this one if you're struggling, but otherwise it'll be same again. So as you come to the floor, it could be 3/4 like we were doing, but if you struggle, you can have the knees under hips and you keep your legs totally still, straight back, strong core, and you just tip from the waist. This is a bit easier if, say, you've got an injury at the moment and you need to take it a bit lighter. 3 repetitions, just from the waist, the hips stay still. When we've done 3, we're rolling back up again. This exercise is whole body, okay? There's flexibility and mobility. There's some little bit of legs in it, and of course core, your back, and your upper body strength. So thinking arms, shoulders, and chest. We're going to do another couple. Coming down, peeling down, strong core. So it's lengthening through the back of the body, bending the spine, working on mobility. Taking a breath, coming to the floor, and then we're into a bit of core, bit of posture, and upper body strength. So, if you do want to do the last 2 rounds in full press-up, maybe you're actually pretty good with your press-ups, then feel free to do a full press-up. Inhale, pause, exhale. So they're slow, controlled press-ups. We're not thrashing these out. They're precise, they're controlled. We're concentrating, we're breathing, our core is strong. When we've done 3, we can start to come back up. Maybe the knees stay off the floor, to challenge your flexibility and upper body strength a little bit more. Rebuilding, restacking, keeping that core nice and strong, rolling the shoulders back. Great for your back, great for joint mobility. The next one we do, we're not coming back up, so we're going to roll down, we're going to come to the floor, peeling toward the floor. We're going to go for 6 push-ups for this last round, okay? So take a breath at the bottom, bringing it to the floor. And then you're either going to be in your kneeling, in your 3/4, or if you want to, in your full push-up. We're going for 6, okay? So shoulders back, glutes are on, core is on. Inhale, pause, exhale. Inhale, pause, exhale. Keep that going, elbows going diagonally backwards. Core is on, thinking ribs slide into hips, belly button up, pelvic muscles lifted. If you're in full push-up, then you've got glutes on. Shoulders away from ears, long neck. One more. And we'll rest down to a child's pose briefly. Bunt heels, reach the arms forwards and breathe. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Stretch those arms out in front of you. Really reach through your fingertips and get a stretch there around the chest, upper back and shoulders. Let your head come down. Rock from side to side a little bit. And then we're going to bring ourselves down onto our front. So I'd like to lie fully down on the floor. I'd like to get elbows out wide in line with the shoulders and palms down. So you've got that kind of U shape with the arms. Your forehead will rest on the floor. Your legs are relaxed, your tailbone slightly tucked, and you're going to switch on your core. We're going to work our backs a little bit now in extension. So, belly button pulls up as if you've got a drawing pin under there, belly button. Pelvic muscles squeezing a little bit, slight tuck with tailbone. We're going to inhale as we peel the chest a little bit or a lot. We're going to exhale as we come back down. You're going to inhale through your nose as you peel the chest. Exhale, come back down. Remember, if you find the breathing confusing, just make sure you're breathing. Try and keep leg mono. Do keep your legs relaxed. And don't push through your arms. Arms are relaxed, legs are relaxed. Neck is long. You're looking down at the floor in front of you. Shoulders are away from ears. So we're trying not to squeeze the glutes or the legs or push through the arms. Your belly button is pulled up, your pelvic muscles are lifted. You've got a slight press in with the hips to the floor. So you're slightly pushing your pubic bone in toward the floor. Inhale, peel the chest. It may not be as high as I'm lifting, that's fine. Exhale, lower. Option 2, we're going to lift one arm off the floor, parallel to the floor, squeezing the shoulder blade in, and everything comes back down. And then we repeat that on the other side. Everything comes back down. Inhale, lift. If you can, bring in that breathing. Exhale, lower. Full, deep breaths. Again, legs are relaxed, core is strong. We are not pushing the arm into the floor. There's some work here for the shoulders as well, squeezing the shoulder blade in. Good for those postural muscles between the shoulder blades. And strengthening the back in extension and improving mobility of the back. Also good for the neck, good for posture, and keeping that core strong. Two more each side, sorry. So it's 4 more breaths. And then we're going to rest, coming up to hands and knees into cat and cow stretch. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. I'd like to inhale, chin to chest, tailbone tucks under, push through your arms, rounding your back. And then exhale, stick your bum out, look upwards, belly button drops toward the floor. And then inhale as you C-shape, exhale as you arch. Inhale, C-shape, chin to chest, tailbone tucks, push through the arms. Exhale as you arch. Just a couple more. And then we're going to relax. We're going to come onto our backs now for the last couple of exercises. What I'm going to do is try and bring one exercise to flow into the other exercise. We're going to start with an exercise called the shoulder bridge. Then we're going to bring in some abdominal curl-ups. Then we're going to do an exercise called the 100. Okay, so we're going to just kind of join these exercises, almost join them together, but I will break things down for you. So we're coming onto our backs. We want a nice long neck, looking straight up at the ceiling in front of you. You want your legs bent, and the gap between your feet and knees should be about a fist or a fist and a half's width. It's not a big gap. Hip distance. We want heels under knees if we can. We want a tiny little arch under the lower back. If you do struggle with the pelvic tilts when we were standing up in the setup, start to do your pelvic tilts here, arching and flattening the lower back. Then settle that down, finding a small arch. I'd like to switch the core muscles on, belly button in, pelvic muscles up, and I'd like to think about sliding your ribs down towards your hip bones all the way through this exercise. Arms relaxed by your sides. So we're ready to start our bridges. I'd like to squeeze your bum and tuck your tailbone so your butt lifts off the floor and your lower back presses into the floor. Then I'd like to peel your lower back off the floor. Hold that for a second or two, squeezing glutes, core strong, ribs pulled in, and then roll your spine back down to the floor bit by bit until your tailbone's back on the floor. We're going to do the same again. Squeeze your bum, tuck your tailbone. Bum lifts, back presses into the mat. Peel the lower back off the floor, just the lower back, glutes on, core on, ribs pulled in, pushing through heels and big toes, and we're rolling back down. Okay, if all that feels fine, we're going to go into a full bridge. So we're going to tuck tailbone, squeeze bum, we're going to peel the lower back off the floor, and we're going to slowly peel up to all the way to the backs of the shoulders. What we're looking for here is a diagonal line. We don't want the ribs flaring out like this, arch in the back. We want the ribs pulled in, core strong, glutes strong. We're going to take a breath. We're going to roll the spine piece by piece back into the floor. Very important here then. So the core and glutes are working. We're peeling the spine. You tuck tailbone, your bum lifts, your back presses into the floor. Then you're peeling through the lower back, piece by piece, vertebrae by vertebrae, through the mid back, through the upper back, to the back of your shoulders. We've got a diagonal line, strong core, strong glutes. We're going to breathe. And we're going to roll back into the floor bit by bit by bit. Now, if you can breathe in a breathing pattern here, breathe as much as you want, basically. But I always start off with inhale, squeeze glutes, tuck tailbone. Exhale, peel the lower back. Continue to breathe as much as you like. Nice deep breaths as you come up to the top of the bridge slowly. At the top, big inhale. Exhale, start to slowly roll the spine back into the floor. Now, if you wanted to add a bit to this, we can bring in some shoulder mobility and a challenge for the back to keep nice, sort of stable, neutral-ish, straightish back. We're going to squeeze bum tuck tailbone and the arms are going to lift. And then as you peel up, the arms are going to come slowly back behind you. To the top, the arms are behind, but we're not arching, we're not flaring out the ribs. We're ribs in, strong core, strong glutes. As we come back down, I'd just like you to bring the arms back in front of your chest. Okay, just here. And then we're going to do that again. Squeeze glutes, tuck tailbone, peel the spine away from the floor slowly, letting the arms come back, maybe to the floor, maybe not. Core strong, glutes squeezing. Still glutes squeezing as we roll back down. We're going to do one more, just the same, and then we're going to add a bit more work here. So glute squeeze, tuck tailbone, peel through the spine, keep breathing, strong core, push through heel and big toe on those feet. This one's going to be different, okay? We're going to keep the glutes on the core, I'm going to roll back down, and then as your tailbone comes to the floor, you're going to lift your head, your shoulders, and your shoulder blades. You're going to reach and look toward your knees, belly button in, pelvic muscles up, think ribs to hips, and you're going to slowly bring the upper body back down, okay? Now we're going to peel head, shoulders, and shoulder blades off the floor. We're going to reach and look toward the knees. There's a squeeze in the core, and we're going to roll back down. Ideally, we're exhaling. So if you need to take a big breath in, exhale as you lift at the top. Inhale, exhale, coming back down. Again, pulling in belly button and pelvic floor. Inhale, exhale, slowly peeling the spine. Inhale at the top. Exhale, come back down. Now you're going to pause. I'd like to focus on your core engagement, belly button in, pelvic muscles up, arms out in front. What I'd like to do is keep your back nice and still. Don't let it arch or flatten. Bring one leg into a tabletop position. And I'd like to put that leg back down. Then I'd like to bring the other leg to a tabletop position. And then put that leg back down. Maintain your core activation here. Keep doing this knee folds exercise. Belly button in, pelvic muscles activated. Lower back is not overarching or flattening, it's staying still with a little arch under there. New option. As you lift one leg, you can peel the head, the shoulders, and the shoulder blades off the floor, reaching and looking towards your toes, and then slowly coming back down with control. We exhale, lift, knee above hip, shin parallel. We inhale, lower. We exhale, lift, again, shin parallel, knee above the hip, and we inhale, lower. Okay, keep going with this. If you could easily take a little bit more work, on the next one, we're going to lift one leg, and then we're going to lift the other leg. Now, if you do have back issues, you may want to flatten your back into the floor here, but if you can maintain neutral, then great. It's whatever's most comfortable for you. But sometimes if you struggle with back problems, when we lift two legs to tabletop, the lower back complains a bit. So you may want to flatten down, keeping the tailbone down, but squashing the lower back flat. Otherwise, just keep neutral if you can. Ribs pulled in, strong core. Arms out in front of us. We're going to inhale, exhale, head, shoulders, shoulder blades. We reach and look toward the toes. We inhale. We're going to exhale, coming back down. Inhale, exhale, reach and look into toes. Inhale, and exhale. With the head and upper body lifted, we want to keep the chin off the chest, natural head position looking toward the toes, shoulders back and down, and we are getting those shoulders up, or you might find you straining your neck. You've got to get the shoulders to lift. Okay, we're going to work a little bit here for the 100. So if everything is fine so far, if it's not, keep doing what you're doing. But if you're quite happy to now, we're going to lift the upper body, we're going to hold, the arms come down to the side, palms down. Your legs are at tabletop, looking towards your toes, and the deep core muscles are on, belly button and pelvic muscles up. We're going to start to pump the arms like this. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out. In, out. We're going to do 8 more of these deep breaths. Pumping the arms in, out. 7 more deep breaths. If you need to lower the upper body at any point, you can do that, and then you can come back up again. If you don't need to fully rest, it's fine. We've got 5 more deep breaths. In through your nose, 5 beats of the arms. Out like you're blowing out your birthday candles. In through the nose.
Out like you're blowing out your birthday candles. Okay, belly button pulls in, pelvic muscles are lifted, ribs to hips, sliding ribs to hips, getting those shoulders up. One more breath in and out. Stop beating the arms, upper body down, one leg down at a time. Full body stretch out, arms overhead, legs away, arch your back, right up onto shoulders and tailbone, squeeze your bum, rock your hips from side to side a little bit. So we are done with the session now. Just a little release stretch here. Arching, stretching chest up toward the ceiling, stretching your abs, squeezing your glutes, feel your hips open up. And then we'll go knees to chest, give the knees a little squeeze in, rock from side to side, massaging your back into the floor. And then we'll go feet to the floor, arms out wide, legs together. Let your knees drop one way as your head goes the other. Bring it back to the middle. And then knees go one way, head goes the other. Back to the middle. Keep going with this for me. Just a couple more each way. Just a little stretch into the obliques and the lower back, and letting your head fall to the opposite side. A little stretch into the neck. Feet stay glued together, so one foot pulls off the floor. Exhaling as you twist. Inhaling as you come back. And then we'll relax here. You can come to sitting, however works for you. And that is about 20 minutes. Beginner, full body session, doing a bit of everything. Hopefully enjoy it. Any questions or anything at all, please get in touch with me. More details are in the description. If you quite enjoyed following this, then I've got tons of online content. You could jump into my membership using the free trial. If you did enjoy this, I would love it if you could hit like, if you could comment some feedback, I'd really, really appreciate it. And obviously give the channel a follow as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.